Welcome to Restaurant Food Fast with your host, Chuck Brooks.
Restaurant Food Fast. We're going to do a little bit of a Super Bowl party type thing. Because, we all want to sit down and watch the Steelers go, playing this. Oh, wait. Never mind. You can use this for any party you want. 3 recipes a day. They're all going to get done pretty much yippee quick. First one I'm going to do is a spinach dip. It's real easy. Ingredients you're going to need: block of frozen spinach, some cream cheese, garlic, a little bit of shredded cheese, parmesean cheese, a little bit of milk. Last but not least, not that, breadcrumbs. Remember I was talking about mise en place? That wasn't it. Next one we're going to do is a Candied Kolbasi. Most of the recipes I see for Candied Kolbasi require you to cook this for an hour. No, I don't have time for all that. This one is 15 minutes roughly. It's done. It's great. The other really cool thing about it is the same sauce that you make for the Kolbasi is a kick-ass glaze on ham. So you can use the same thing. And last but not least, we're going to slide over here. We're going to do a non-cooked recipe. This is the squirrel's broccoli salad. Really quick, really easy. Everybody loves it. Basic ingredients: a little bit of cauliflower. See, I got a head here. I'm not going to use nearly a quarter of that for the portion size I'm making. Some broccoli florets. You can buy the whole thing or you can buy them all cut like this. Shredded cheese. Bacon bits. Everything's better with bacon. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put some of those bacon bits in the spinach dip too. Ranch dressing. You can make it yourself or you can go buy just a cheap version. Doesn't matter. And frozen peas. That's it. This will all be done at the same time as it takes us to do a regular episode. I'll show you how to do the mise on it so you have everything going at one time, and you can be doing one thing while the other things are getting their groove on. So it's going to be a good episode. Show you the easiest way to do production. First, you got to think in your head what's going to take the longest to do. If you've got cook times that vary, you want to put the longest one on first. 2 of our recipes take about the same amount of time, so I'm going to start those pretty much at the beginning. So I'm going to preheat, get stuff moving. Got a pan preheated here, and make sure I get the right burner. Another one preheated there. I got them both on high. I'm using 2 non-sticks this time. Okay. Basically, I'm not trying to make a sauce. I don't need the fond at the bottom, so I'm using non-stick pans. First thing I'm going to do is going to take the spinach, and you can thaw it, you can drain it, you can do however you want. The way I do it, just take it, cut the end off it, fire it in a pan. You know what, I'm going to switch pans. What I'm going to do is let this melt down and thaw on the heat. I'm going to cook it a lot because it's not going to take a long time. It's high heat. I want to get the water out of this. So I'm going to set this on the back and let it start chugging. To that, if you like garlic, add a lot. If you don't like garlic, don't add any. There. Now I've got this red onion is going to pull double duty for me, so I'm going to cut this up now. If you don't have red onion, don't use it. Use regular onion. Easy process. A bunch of different ways to cut onions. I find this one to be the easiest. There you go. Peel away the outer skin. You're good. Clean this up. That should be enough for the one recipe I want to do. Okay, I'm going to take these onions I just cut, put them into my other pan that I'm heating up. That pan's going to be for the kolbasi. So as that's going, I'm going to take the kolbasi. I'm just using part of a pack I have. I guess this is about, I don't know, too many jokes here. Somewhere around 3/4 of a pound to a pound. I'm going to cut this into nice thin discs. Basically, I want to try and get it thin because I don't want a whole lot of the fat left in the meat when it cooks. You can do as much as this as you like. If you find out that people like it and you're going to have a bunch of people over, just use the whole pack. You can use any cooked sausage you want. This happens to be just general kolbasi. You can use smoked sausage. I actually prefer the smoked sausage in this, but again, this is what I had on hand. So this is what I'm using. This recipe is so simple, so easy to do that it surprises most people. Because they expect, the candied kolbasi to take a while. Really doesn't. So I'm going to take this entire thing, empty it into the pan, I just put the onions in. Give that a shake around, let it crank up. Clear out a little bit. Now this one's real easy. I'm not sure if I went through the ingredient list on this one or not. I may have missed it. It's basically kolbasi, onion, brown sugar, jelly, jam, anything with some acid to it. You could use grape. I'm not sure how I would enjoy that one myself, but I'll use either apricot or strawberry. I happen to have red raspberry, so this is what I'm going to use. And that's pretty much it, unless you want some heat. Now, if we want to kick it up a little bit, I've got a whole bunch of hot seasonings in here. I'll try this one. This is a chili garlic sauce. It's a Vietnamese basic garlic sauce. Chili peppers, it's great. Really hot, particularly after you cook it. So I'm going to use a little bit of this just because I think the squirrel likes it. That's it. You can hear them sizzling away. They're cooking up a storm. I'm going to get something to try and break down that spinach with. So basically, sometimes you got to move this around because it's going to thaw on the bottom quicker, so you got to flip it every once in a while. I'm not a big fan of spinach. Again, the squirrel likes it. So I kind of make this stuff for her. Okay, as this is cooking, I'm going to turn this heat down just a tad. And I'm going to show you the production on the broccoli salad. So slide over here. Big bowl. Take a handful of your broccoli. Okay, just about like that. Now, I don't like the stalks in this. So what I do is, even though this is already florets, I'm going to cut it down again. And then I take just these little pieces, break them down. You want them about the size that you can fit in your mouth. So if you're like my camera guy and have a huge maw, you can put some whole damn head of broccoli in there. But when I'm cooking for the kids or for the family, I don't. Alright, I'm smelling stuff starting to burn. Not really burning, just like you can smell it when it starts getting good and hot. Now with the spinach and the broccoli, the garlic. You don't want the garlic to burn because it'll get bitter. So as long as there's a little moisture in here, that broccoli is not going to burn. Or broccoli, why do I keep saying that? Garlic, excuse me. Garlic's not going to burn. So just keep stirring it around until it's completely thawed. Now as you see, it's almost there. I just got this little block in the middle. I'm going to flip it over again. Try not to hit the floor with it. Scrape the sides off of it. See how it's starting to break apart? It's almost ready. So I'm going to let that go for a little bit. Toss this again, turn this heat down just a hair, back over to my broth. Break it up, get all the big pieces out, all the big pieces of stock. The stock actually makes really good food too. It makes great soup. We used to take in restaurants, take entire stalks, peel them down, and cut them into julienne and just saute them by themselves. They're really good. So that looks good to me. That's about right. Slide this to the side. I'm going to take the cauliflower.
You're out of the shot.
Why?
Because you'll be back.
Cut it out of the bag. I'm going to take just a small piece of it, about like this. There's an easier way to do it. I'll show you that in a second. Same thing. You just want little pieces. So the cauliflower is real easy. You can take your knife and just take the top of it, and it'll cut right off. Grab it from the stalk. It'll cut right down. You just want the florets. Don't have to be a lot. You usually use about 50-50. So for the same amount of broccoli, cauliflower, of course. I'm not using quite that much. And that's it. Frozen peas. A handful of frozen peas in here. Alright, I'm coming back to my other pan. Okay, the spinach is done. Well, you can see it's all broke down. It's not bad. Didn't burn. It still smells like spinach, which I can't stand, but hey, I'm not eating it. The spinach, I add a little bit of milk. Okay, it's going to make basically a creamed spinach. I'm going to let that heat back up. Let's see, which order do I want to do it? I'm going to do Parmesan. A handful of Parmesan over top. Let this work a little bit. You can start to smell it coming together. The milk is going to kind of cut the flavors, make it a little smoother. Okay, so that's cooking a little bit. I'm going to toss this. I want to get this Kolbasi almost completely cooked because the final stages are so simple. Where was I? While that's finishing there, open up the cream cheese. If you can't open it, maul it. Okay, you don't need, you can put as much or as little in as you like. If you like it real, lots of cream cheese, go for it. As I said, I don't eat it, so I really don't have a preference. The only way I can eat it is if I put, like 3 of these in there, 3 or 4 cream cheeses, because I don't get along with it. But I'll put about half the cream cheese in here. Let this melt down. Now, this is this very same recipe. You go to a lot of these chains and you get spinach. You get spinach dip. What do they put in with it? It's help me out here. Artichokes. That's the big thing is the artichoke dip. Basically, all these dips are the same recipe. If it's a hot dip, you just take your main ingredients, cook them all down, add the seasonings, you're done. That was kind of vague, wasn't it? I mean, you see how this is going. There's 3 recipes I got going. None of these are real difficult. All right, I'm going to take a little bit of the seasoned breadcrumbs. Just soak up a little bit of the extra liquid in there. It's going to kind of bind it together a bit. And as this cream cheese melts through, it's going to soak up into the breadcrumbs. It's going to make it a bit smoother, a bit nicer. There you go. I'm going to let this cook for a little while. Now I know it needs seasoned, so I'm going to hit it with some salt. Hit it with some pepper. Okay, this stuff is about ready. Here, let me see if we can get a shot of this. See, the onions are caramelized a little bit. It's all kind of cooked down in there. They're not, they're not dead, but they're definitely cooked. Put this back over the heat. Now this is where I'm going to add fresh spoon. Heat. If you want heat, put a lot in. If you don't, don't. If you don't want any, don't put any heat into it. I'm going to mix this around a little bit. You can smell the fire coming off of that now. I'm going to use a little bit of granulated garlic in this. Now comes the easy part. I'm going to rinse my spoon off because I don't want to put chili sauce in my jelly. Okay, this thing's about finished. That's it. This is the consistency you're looking for in the spinach dip. If you can see this, it's just smooth. The spinach cooked down. It's got the cream cheese running through it. Lots of garlic flavor to it. I'll show you how to finish this in a minute. I'm going to turn the heat all the way off on that and set it to the back. Stir those up. Jelly, jam. Big. Do you see the big glob of raspberry jam? I'll show you in a sec. Look at the size. It's what, 3 tablespoons maybe. Okay. Get that all worked in. Brown sugar. Okay, it's about, I guess, a cup. Boom. That's it. Another device for stirring. Get this in here, mix it up. Now, I'm going to, for simple syrup, you need sugar and water. If you put too much water in here, you're going to have to cook it forever. I'm putting just a tablespoon and a half, maybe, of water in the bottom of this. I want it to melt the sugar. That's all. Your food's already cooked. Your sugar's going to melt down and absorb. And you're going to let this simmer for a little bit. As it simmers, all that water is going to come back out of it and you're going to be left with the pure sugar. Alright, while we're doing this, I'll plate up the spinach dip, which I had a bowl I was going to plate it in. Where's it at? Here it is. Oh yeah, the peas are in it. So here you go. You take your spinach dip. This part of it's all done. The crust on the bottom of this is absolutely wonderful. It's not burnt. It's just kind of the milk and everything gets a little bit of fond on the bottom. It's really good. Take this and get it out of the way. Here, let me see, how am I going to finish this one? All right. Everything's better with bacon, right? If I can figure out how to open this container. There it is. A little bit of bacon bits on top. And I've got cheese that's going to baffle me. It says pull here, but it's lying. I'm going to break it. This is a brand, it's got, I don't know, some Chipotle cheddar mess. Doesn't matter what you use. There you go. Easiest thing to do there for that's it. Spinach dip. It's actually really good. Serve it with your favorite crackers, anything you want to put in it. Makes actually just good. My kids eat it on sandwiches, which is gross, but hey, they love it, so I cook it. There it is, spinach dip, really easy. This stuff, take a look. It's syrupy. As this cools, that syrup is going to solidify. Don't worry about this. I'm keeping it on the heat. Once that liquid goes into it, I'm not paying any attention to it. I'm letting it go up. I'm looking for it to get a little crust to it. How do you describe it? Not crust. It's going to start to boil a little bit. You're going to see the difference when sugar boils, simple syrup boils, as opposed to water. Once you see that, it's pretty much done. So I'm going to slide back over here. I'm going to finish doing the cold salad, and that'll be it for today. I'm going to use a little bit more white cauliflower, of course. Now, if you were processing this entire head of cauliflower, I would take this bottom and cut at an angle in to take this whole core out. The whole core comes out, and then you can just shave the outsides with a knife. It's really easy. I'm not needing that much, so I'm not going to do all that because I'm just going to put it back in the fridge when we're done here. So, take a look at this. It's mixed up. Okay. I told you the onion was doing double duty. Come back over here. Okay. I'm going to take the other half of this onion. I'm going to cut down the center so I get smaller pieces. So now I'm going to take these. Take these smaller bits. That goes into the salad. Bacon bits go into the salad. As many as you like. You can pour the whole container in if you feel the need. Since I already have one cheese open, that's just regular shredded cheddar jack. Instead of fighting with that container, I'm just going to use this. Pour some cheese to it. Ranch dressing. If you like blue cheese dressing, use blue cheese dressing. There you go. Enough to coat. See, you got all that in there? You just mix it around. Make sure everything gets some ranch dressing on it, or blue cheese dressing, or whatever dressing you like. You can do this with it, if you don't want the calories, Italian dressing. You can do it with aged balsamic. You can do it with anything. I mean, if you love ranch or Thousand Island, go for it. But there you go. Raw vegetable salad. This stuff is really good. Anytime I cater something, people love this. They think this is the best thing in the world. It's so easy to make. You know, I make this in between making that. So you got to go figure how easy that is. So there you go. There's one. There's two. All right, now I was telling you about the boil. It's going to stop boiling if I bring it. So can you zoom to it? Okay, can you see the boil in here? See how the bubbles stay longer than if you were boiling water? Everything's bubbling up. That's what you're looking for. At this point, when you let this cool, that's going to get to be a nice tacky syrup. I like something with a little higher sides for this one since it has a syrup. There you go. See how this is starting to thicken already as it cools. Now, what you gotta remember that these flakes you see in here are pepper from chili peppers. This is going to be hot and sweet. If you don't want the hot, don't put them in. It'll just be straight candied. You can add maple syrup to this. You can add whatever you like if you like Candied Kolbasi. This is it. It's done. You put these down on the table with a bunch of toothpicks. Put them in a little bowl, however you want to serve it. So easy to make. You can do the entire production run in the same time as it took you to cook this pound of it. So you can get one of those big 6-pound packs, cut it all up, throw it in, do the same thing. You don't have to cook it for hours. This stuff is, I gotta try it because I never used to like it. I love it now. Hot. Right amount of savory, right amount of spice. You feel the heat in the back of your throat. Real sweet from the sugar. Barely taste the raspberry. It's just there's a little bit of acid from the raspberry, but you can't taste it. This is really good. If you like hot sweet food, this is it. Outstanding. Well, there you go. 3 done. Took us what? 15 minutes, 20 minutes maybe? Yeah, he's nodding his head saying, yeah. There you go. Candied Kolbasi. You got a cold salad, no cooking needed. Then you got the spinach dip topped with bacon and cheese. That's it. There you go. You can make variations on the theme, man. Make a bunch of them, make a little of it. Change it. You can do the same candy thing with anything as long as you cook it through. You can take, again, vegetables, any kind you want. Cook them, put the same ingredients on it. You don't have to cook it forever to make it candied. You want to make sure your product's cooked first. Don't put in as much water and let it boil down. Put in your stuff. And you can see it how this is setting up. This stuff is really getting thick. You can see how the syrup is starting to run. It doesn't take hours to cook this stuff. So there you go. If you take that glaze and put it on ham, whew, killer. But that's it. That's the show for this week. You got your 3 and out, 20 minutes. Man, how much easier can this be? Everybody, you saw it. 3 easy recipes, party recipes, use them for anything. Nobody can watch the Super Bowl this year. Steelers aren't in it, so who cares? Look at the mess. Oh well. That's the thing about cooking. You want to have someone to help you clean up. The cooking's not the hard part. The cleaning is. Next week, I'm going to do a Wiener Schnitzel theme. Purist, it's got to be veal. I'm not going to use veal. I'm going to use pork. But if you'll notice, the cooking is going to be very, very similar to some of the stuff we've done already. It's going to be real similar to both the Romano and the Marsala. It's another recipe that's going to take a couple minutes an hour. It's real simple, real easy. It's a great recipe, great picnic food too. So, all right, I'll see you guys next week and have a good one.